So,
oh, I've never been on this end of it. I got the
really?
message.
Oh, you got the message. That's good. Yeah, it was never used to be on there. Now it's on there. So I suppose we've got to let everybody know it's being recorded. Well, welcome, Juliane. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm very excited for this chat. As we said just before we hit record again, we're going to let any more people in as they sort of arrive. Otherwise, we're going to crack on and have this beautiful conversation. Oh, we've got somebody. Cassandra Craven is coming in now. We'll let Cassandra in. Hi, Cassandra. Welcome. We were just kicking off as you came in, so I was just thanking Juliane for coming today and being with us. Before I let you introduce yourself, Juliane, I like to start these webinars by asking people what their values are. Anybody who has hung around Engage and Create Land for, I don't know, 5 seconds would probably realize that we're pretty obsessed with values and having that driving force behind. Oh my goodness, I really should have had a coffee before I did this. Behind everything we do. So, Juliane, what are your values?
Oh, great. Well, look, we're part of the tribe, because Topcatz talks about values need to drive everything. And so three main values. First being trust, because nothing important can be created without trust. Trust has to be the bedrock of anything. So trust is number one. Number two is caring. Again, I think it is bedrock to anything that you do. It has to come from a place of fundamentally caring for people. And there's a saying that we use all of the time in the work that we do, and it is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
I love that one.
And when you start working with other people on any level, if they don't feel that you care, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've got to impart to them. It often doesn't land. And thirdly is creativity. Creativity is fundamental to the birthing of new things, to having fun, to be curious. I think it is so important that we maintain that creativity in our own lives personally, and it keeps our minds active. It often keeps us passionate in what we're doing when we can maintain that creative spirit as such. So trust, caring, and creativity, fundamental.
I love those ones. That's awesome. Thank you. Well, before we get stuck too far into the well-being side of which is our focus today, of course, well-being in business and life in general, really. Who are you, Juliane? How did you get here today? How did you get to where you are? Like, between our chat this morning and me reading the intro to your beautiful new book, I'm already very, you have a wonderful story and a really exciting path that you've been on. So I'd love for you to share with us today who you are, what you do, and how you got here.
Lovely. Thanks, Yaz. So I am a mother to 4 beautiful children. Oldest is just about to graduate, and I just said to Yasmin this morning that I'm still in denial about that because I do not feel old enough to have someone who is about to be 18 and graduating. And the youngest is still in primary school, and she's 10. I am the wife to the most amazing man who has brought me out into North Queensland And I jokingly refer to the fact that I live centrally located in the middle of nowhere. So we are on 90,000 acres in North Queensland. That's home. We run our family grazing operation from there. And I'm 500 kilometres from Townsville, Charters Towers, if you go west to Hewenden or south to Charters Towers. So I suppose that's one side, and the other side is that I am co-founder of an organisation called Topcatz, which, I mean, our tagline is we help people succeed. And people often say to me, well, what does that mean? And my question back to them is, well, what does success look like for you? And that's when we really dig in, because quite often people don't know. People don't know what it is they want. What are they passionate about? What lights them up? And that then directs any of the work that we do with people. So Topcatz very quickly was formed about 6 years ago from a beautiful friendship with my friend and co-founder Trevor Farmer. Trevor Farmer, in another life, was a vet. He built a huge veterinary practice based in Charters Towers, and thus the name Topcatz came about, because fundamental to the work we do with people is we talk to them about being cat-like. Now, what does cat-like mean? Well, it means being focused but flexible. So love them or hate them, everyone has an opinion about cats, and they are just the ultimate in terms of being flexibly focused and thus so efficient. So in martial arts, all of the moves around martial arts are either based on the actions of a cat or a monkey, because they are so efficient. They live in the present. And for all of us to function well, to be happy, to be satisfied in life, it is very much about living as much of it as we can in the present. So 6 years ago, Topcatz formed, and we have done work all over Australia with some amazing organisations and individuals, all in that space of professional development and leadership most of the time.
Amazing. Thanks, Juliane. I love that you start your conversations with people around asking them what success means to them, that it is such a personal thing, and it's different for absolutely everybody, or it should be different for absolutely everybody. And that's a huge part of the work we do too. So I love that we've got all these synchronicities going on here. It's very good. So the title of yours and Trevor's new book, which I'll just pop up here, is The Last 1%, as you can see. I would love to know what the last 1% means.
Right. So the last 1% comes from a pivotal conversation that Trevor had many, many years ago. So Trevor got involved with a young man up in Cairns who was an incredible water skier, and he was about to go for an assault on the world titles. Trevor was already known in different circles for his success mentorship, and so it was suggested that that he meet with this young. So Wayne Moore is the guy. So he had a cup of coffee with this young guy who was about to go for an assault on the world water ski titles, and in this particular cup of coffee conversation, Trevor said to Wayne, quite honestly, he said, "Look, mate, I know nothing about water skiing, but I do know a lot about the last 1% between your ears. And that is what makes the difference to being a champion." And so from that cup of coffee started this great partnership and friendship where Trevor mentored this young man. And not only did he win the world water skiing titles, but I think to this day he's the only person who's taken home the title, having won all of these races. So that's where the title came from, was that fundamental conversation. And it is the thrust of the whole book. The whole book is, talking to people about building an awareness, I suppose, of the power of that last 1%, that excitingly we all have complete control over.
That's promising. That's promising. I like that. I like that we we probably don't even know about that last 1%, most of us. So that's really exciting that, when we want to, we can tap in and really and control that and use that to our ability. How exciting. Well, Juliane, the point of this whole chat today, the theme of this, we're in pillar number 5 of a business worth living, and that is well-being for us. So, you talk about a lot about personal satisfaction and professional success and how we can marry the two together and have both, because we have one life. It's very hard to actually successfully segment things into work and personal and creativity and all those different things. Like, it really is a mishmash of all of it. And I think it's really hard, and something that people struggle with a lot these days is feeling like they can't find balance, because I don't know if it actually exists. What are your thoughts on that? And what do you think are probably the biggest or most common barriers that you see to people actually achieving this, how to have that success across both aspects of your life, or all aspects of life?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I 100% agree with you, Yaz. It's a complete myth that we have this personal life and professional life, and, compartmentalizing both. We absolutely have one life, and what's going on professionally or personally for you is, of course, going to directly affect the other. And I suppose when we talk about what we talk about in the book are the 5 things that mess you up. And whether it's in your personal life or professional life, the effect is the same. But we probably don't have enough time to go into all 5. So let me unpack for you what I think are the big 2.
All right.
So the first one is, we start carrying through life too many spent cheques. Now, what do I mean by a spent cheque? A spent cheque is something that has happened in the past. So we are fixated on, we keep reliving, we are feeling guilty, we have regrets. We're not leaving those things in the past, or indeed we are judging ourselves now, and maybe other people, against things that have happened in the past. And those things just continually weigh us down, and they have us emotionally making decisions on the future from things that happened in the past. So if you're carrying guilt, if you're feeling angry, if you're depressed because of stuff that's happened in your past, and I mean, we refer to them as spent cheques. They're done, they're gone. You can never change what happened. We sit here today as a product of all of our past decisions. So decisions that we've made in the past, we are absolutely a product of them now. But what we need to realize and take with us going forward is right from this moment, we have the ability to make new decisions. We have the ability to make new decisions that determine our future. And if we choose, and this is the choice that we make every day, if we choose to hold on to the past, it colors those decisions. So if we are feeling guilty, if we are judging ourselves harshly on stuff that's happened in the past, that then colors those decisions and creates judgment, usually self-judgment, on which we make decisions going forward. So I think that's a big one. But what's even bigger is number 2 that we talk about, which is unresolved relationships. So as big as spent checks are, unresolved relationships are even bigger. So, and unresolved relationships can come in so many forms. So usually people immediately relate it to having an unresolved relationship with another person, which, is an obvious one. But we can have unresolved relationships to a job, to an outcome as such. And if we choose to hold them and carry them, it creates this huge sense of overwhelm for people. So much stress and anxiety that people are holding is often due to the amount of unresolved crap they have in their life. Now, an unresolved relationship can be something as simple as, let's say Friday afternoon, you pick up your phone and you see that there is a message there from the bank manager. And you listen to that message and, it's, "Hi there, Juliane. I really need to catch up with you. There's, we've got an issue that we really need to discuss with you." And let's just say the message runs out. Now, immediately, if you've got a large mortgage, an overdraft, whatever with the, your thoughts are going to start turning over. Oh, did we miss a payment? Are interest rates rising? All of this stuff starts percolating in your head. Now, the only thing that you can do at that point is resolve to solve it. How do you do that? You pick up the phone straight away, you ring the bank manager and you say, "Listen, Bob, can we book a meeting next week, Monday, 8 o'clock? Great. It's 5 o'clock. He wants to get home." You haven't solved anything, but you have resolved to solve everything. And you have just
taken it
given
out of your
yourself
head, and
complete and utter peace for the weekend. Otherwise, the whole weekend, your conversation with your husband, everything that's going on in your head just goes round and round and round. And it is just another unresolved issue that you have chosen to hold. And so much of the overwhelm that people experience when you start breaking it down with them is these little, quite often, unresolved relationships that they have. I mean, I talk to people about email. Our inbox becomes this huge mass of unresolved relationships if we do not put in place certain systems and certain protocols in relation to dealing with it. because each unopened email represents an unresolved relationship for us. It could be a job that we have to do. It's a reply. It's a decision. It's a decision we have to make to delete the bloody thing.
Juliane, can
But
we stay on this example actually? And so in your book, I'm going to refer to your book a lot because I've just started it and it's all very fresh and exciting in my mind.
yeah,
But sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to keep on that example of the inbox, because I feel like in terms of well-being and for small business and for people working in businesses as well, our inboxes can be a source of anxiety. And it seems ridiculous, but
absolutely.
it's 1,000% true. It's so true. What do you think? Like, you're called the systems queen, I believe, in in the book. What do you think? Like, what's a simple or effective way that you have found to help people deal with inbox anxiety in terms of,
Yeah, right.
obviously
Oh,
tackling that so that you can have better well-being? Because yeah.
yeah. And I love this one, Yaz, because I am a bit of a systems person. That's
Call yourself a systems queen, Juliane. Take your
yeah,
title.
that's yeah, why not? Because that's, that look, I'm a person who needs structure, you know, and thus systems is how I make sense of life. I always look at things in terms of systems, and so, the inbox is dear to my heart, because if I am experiencing any amount of overwhelm, it will be from things like that. In that, I have strayed away, probably because life has taken over from my own system. So simple things like deal with an email once. So set up some really good filing in relation, and I mean, every business and every individual's needs will be different, but sit down and spend a good amount of time thinking through and creating a filing system for your emails, so that you deal with that email once and you put it then in a place where you can, of course, easily find it, return to it, keep the paper trail that we all need. Like super, super important. The other thing I like to talk to people about just in relation to emails is I think it is super important, well, business or personal. Do not let your um, do not let your core goals, your core objectives on a day-to-day basis get hijacked by email. So at night, I quite often like to sit down and I'll list the 3 most important things that I want to achieve that next day. Some of them aren't really big. Like, it's not curing cancer. It might be, ring the school nurse and talk to them about my son's, broken arm. Because for me, that is, in our family, that is the most important thing that needs to happen today. Whatever goes down with the business, that is really important. So whatever the 3 really big things are for you the next day, do not open your emails before you've at least started, or made inroads into those 3 big things. Because if you open your emails, what you are effectively opening the door to is you are allowing everyone's urgent to override your important. What is important to you has to be honored, because at the end of the day, it will affect how you feel emotionally about the success or failure of your day. So if you have spent your day dealing to everyone else's emergencies, at the end of the day, if you're feeling unproductive, if your overwhelm has increased, it will just be because you didn't get to those 3 really important things to you. And a lot of times it's good that they're not huge, because we all need every day to experience those little wins to keep that overwhelm at bay. And the other huge thing, Yaz, is we have to acknowledge those wins. And that's the other big thing that we're not doing for ourselves. So when, like, I'm a big list person. I love lists. It's part of the system. But you know what a list does for you is that when you tick something off your list, you give yourself a little shot of dopamine. So you give yourself a little win. And it does. It emotionally lifts you. It is that feeling of achievement. And Trevor in our workshops, people think he's crazy, but he talks to people about going, yes, every morning when they clean their teeth. But what people don't realize is when you clean your teeth in the morning, you have done everything you need to do to be successful. Because in that small act of cleaning your teeth, you have to make a decision every morning about what you want. Okay? To be successful, we all have to know what we want. Then you have to decide what is the price you are prepared to pay. Okay, we've got to go to the bathroom. We've got to put toothpaste on our toothbrush. We've got to dedicate the time to clean our teeth. So decide the price you want to pay, and then you've got to pay the price. They are the 3 elements that we all need to execute day by day to be successful. Decide what you want, decide the price you're prepared to pay, and go and pay the price. When you do those things on a micro or a macro scale, you need to celebrate your success, because that lifts you emotionally every day. Already you are feeling great. You get that shot of dopamine. You can produce your own dopamine from brushing your teeth. Imagine what you can do for yourself when you recognize the little wins that you have each day, every day. I mean, look, when I started having kids, you know what? It was a gold star if I got the washing out and we had a feed at the end of the night. That, and yes, that was an achievement. And I look back on that time now, and the days that you felt crappy about yourself was the days that you didn't stop and acknowledge the stuff that you got done and the stuff that you achieved. So yes, I love lists. Like, if I haven't written something down that I achieve, I write it down so that I can give myself a tick.
Oh my gosh, same. I do that too. I was about to admit, sometimes I even write it down just so I can tick it off. I love that you got there before me. Oh, it feels great. I love it.
You've got to do it, because understand the physiology of it. Dopamine is that hit, is that little sense of achievement that then lifts us emotionally, where we are in such a better place to go and attack the next challenge, to go and maybe get our teeth into something that is a bit tougher, that is a bit harder, that is going to take more from us. Emotionally, we are in such a good place to start that. Other than, if we don't do that from ourselves, for ourselves, we're feeling a bit depressed and apathetic. We might have a bit of anxiety. You can't perform, you can't think well. I mean, you are not in the headspace to be able to tackle that bigger stuff. And you can put yourself in that headspace so simply by giving yourself your own personal shot of dopamine. And, and something, and so you know, when you're in a workplace and when you're around other people, and this is something we talk to leaders about all the time, why aren't you doing it? 9 times out of 10, you know why? Because most people are too worried about what other people think. You know, we don't go, yes. We don't high five each other in the workplace because we are too worried about what other people around us think.
That's so
The
true.
truth, yeah, and the powerful truth is, when you realize and own what other people think of you is none of your business, you become free to do the things you know are beneficial to you, in that mental health space, and you also become free to lead others into that space, because when you start doing it, you give others around you the permission to do it, and everyone enjoys it. There has never been an instance in a workshop setting or when we go into an organization when we haven't offered someone a high five and they haven't taken it. Never.
For sure. It feels good.
Everyone,
Yeah.
oh, it feels
Everyone's
good.
just
And
craving it deep down. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And the powerful thing is, Yaz, that when you offer someone a high five, you and I both get a hit of oxytocin and dopamine, but everyone around us who visually sees that interaction, they get a shot of oxytocin. And that's what creates teams. That's what binds people together, is that oxytocin. And you build that within a workplace so you can start lifting people around you who, have come to work having had, a crap morning personally. You can lift people around you by starting to put in place those personal practices for yourself.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think it's huge. And you know what? It's so simple.
Yeah.
So simple
So
to
huge.
do.
It's so simple. I feel like I'm already getting from this chat that the secret to well-being in work and in life, it's all really about two things, kind of from your perspective, and I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying. It's about a shift of focus and then habits. Like that's really all it comes down to. We don't all need to go out and create these elaborate morning routines and rituals with raw cacao and crystals or anything to find, I mean, also not opposed to that, but, like we don't, I think for so many people, they think to be able to achieve some feeling of peace or balance within their days, whatever that means to them, that they need to change absolutely everything and they can't lead the lives that they're leading now. But really, if you take the principles you're talking about, you just shift your focus to celebrating the little wins, that alone will do so much for how they feel. And then just create those small little habits, whether it is your email list or just not opening it until you've done your first two important things for the day. Like those things, yeah, huge. It's amazing. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah, it is. And it is small. Well, we have this saying, so little things done consistently every day make a huge difference over time.
Mm.
People will always underestimate what they can achieve in, let's say, a 6-month period, but they will grossly underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. It really is, always digging down on those little things done consistently over time. That is what makes the huge difference. You know, it is that classic. They're a 10-year overnight success.
We've all had that story, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because we love the success stories, and the success stories are what are put in front of us. But often we don't unpack the journey, and we don't unpack all of the struggles and the little things that someone consistently did to get them to where they are now. So yeah, I think that's huge, really,
Yeah.
really huge.
Definitely. Juliane, when we were talking a little bit earlier today, you mentioned that at the end of 2019, I think it was, you actually experienced a point of close to burnout yourself, and in your business, you were feeling like, everything was kind of getting on top of you. You were working crazy hours. Everything was just busy. I despise that word, but it's true. So many people are just ridiculously busy these days. I would love to hear a little bit about that, but then mainly focus on, what were the things that you did? I mean, we might not all be able to jump on a plane and go to Japan with our families now, which is what you did at the time. I mean, now in this climate.
No,
But, what
not
were
an
some, not an option at the moment. But what were some things that you sort of reintroduced or introduced into your life again to sort of bring yourself back down and kind of gain a bit more control over how you felt in your day to day?
Yeah, okay. So I love the saying, do less and be more. Because I mean, I'm with you, Yaz. I have a strong dislike for the term busy, because busy doesn't always equal productive. And so when you're busy and you're heading towards burnout, I promise you, your day will be hugely unproductive. And you will feel overwhelmed, and we would talk of it in terms of you are down the bottom of the ladder. So we have a special tool that we use with people whom we work with. And what it does is it builds an awareness of where they are emotionally, because it is our emotions that control our thoughts. So if you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling guilty, what your brain does in a millisecond is it creates the thoughts to support why you feel that way. And before you know it, you are in this emotional churn. So, for example, if I'm feeling, if I'm feeling guilty for some reason, my brain will immediately move to validate that. So it will bring up all of these different thoughts as to why I'm feeling guilty, or why I should feel guilty. And that just intensifies that original emotion of guilt. And so, and this is where a very mild sense of worry about something, about, having one particular thought about something, that emotion then brings up all of these other thoughts as to why you're worried, and can transition someone into full-blown anxiety. I am being told that this is unstable. Can you hear me still, Yaz? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
it was just breaking up a bit, and now you're frozen, but we can
Stop
hear
video.
you.
Can you hear there, Yaz?
Yeah, we can hear you. You are frozen, but we can still hear you. So,
Hello?
oh, maybe she can't hear us.
Ah.
We can hear you, Juliane.
Ah, right. I've just turned my video off, Yaz. So I'm.
Oh, looks like she's left us. Hang on. Sorry. Got to deal with these things. We're in rural Australia, don't we? Just is what it is. Hopefully she can jump back in. She should have the link still. We are almost at time anyway, but if she can jump back in and Juliane, are you there? Cassandra, if you have any questions at any point or want to ask a question at the end.
Yaz, I'm back.
Just a bit glitchy, Juliane.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, actually, that's better now. You there?
Hello, I'm back.
Can you hear us, Juliane? Oh no, we might have lost her.
It's what happens sometimes. I have the same thing. Sometimes I've just got to turn that video off and then it'll start working.
Same. If I'm working from home, I often just need to pretend it's never happened before in my life and turn the video off and just go on with the audio. But that's all right. We can solve. She's back now. Let's see if we'll unmute her. Third time lucky, hopefully.
Hello.
Oh,
No.
Juliane, I don't even think she can hear us either.
Oh my Lord. The joys of living rural remote and working off. Oh gosh, I can hear you guys. I don't know that you can hear me.
Is that you, Juliane? Oh, it says you're muted my end. Oh gosh. Anyway, you just keep talking and we will wrap it up in the next little bit anyway. But if you can finish the point you were on and yeah, give us any tips around how to, you know, pull people out of burnout, that would be amazing. And we'll hope the internet is kind to us for the last 5 minutes.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can now. Yep. Juliane, just make sure you're not. Oh, she's gone again. Oh, Cassandra, sorry.
It's fine. It's not
Everyone
a
is
problem
going to
at
love
all.
this recording today. I might say at 45 minutes we experienced some technical difficulties.
That's fine.
Dear. I am aware of the time and you probably need to go at some stage too as well. Perhaps Juliane and I can finish the chat when her internet's a little bit better and then send out the recording.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, because I had to go a couple of times as well, so
oh no, that's
it'll be
okay.
good
Yeah,
for me to be able to catch up the rest of it.
Revisit some of those.
Yeah.
I did just admit her in again, but she's gone again. I think we'll have to pause it here and resume a little bit later for that last point. Thank you for coming, Cassandra.
No problem. Thank you. Cheers.
No problem. See you.
See ya. Oh, hang on. We'll see what happens, and then if she goes again, then I'll just leave.
Park it. You there, Juliane? You there, Juliane? Oh, she's connecting to audio.
We're on mobile broadband here, and at this time of the year we get up to 300 grey nomads living at the rodeo grounds just down the road.
So
and
they're
at 6
sucking
o'clock
all
at
your
night,
internet.
yeah, at 6 o'clock at night, don't even try and get on the internet, because it just will not work, because they're all on their little mobile broadband.
Or using it. Oh no. Oh gosh, that is, yeah, it's just is what it is, isn't it? No,
it's a good excuse to get out of the office at that time of the afternoon.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you heard today, we are all for that.